Hi, lots to talk about really. Monday morning, very, very warm in London, about time. Had a wonderful day at the Art in Action exhibition at Waterbury Park in Oxfordshire yesterday. It was the last day of the 3 days, so buy materials if they're knocking them out at a good price because the exhibition's finished. So I bought these varnish brushes. These are Pro Art varnish brushes, £2 each, half the price of the local shops or the shop that sells art materials. It's the right sort of price really because they're cheaply made and they probably come from China, but they're great for acrylic. So I stock up when I see. Didn't buy any paints because I can buy that in Wilkinson's, the stuff I use at the moment. I'm thinking of doing a sunset. I should invent a sort of a waterscape. So I'm going to just put in some colour. I've primed the Fabriano. It's over an old demo with some PVA glue mixed with burnt sienna, but I've gone over that with plaster of Paris and some more PVA, dilute PVA glue. It's a nice sort of rough surface to work on. So I'm going to get my son, I'll spray the paper because that makes it all nice and slippy. Put that there. So I'll put it off centre, sort of slightly off centre. I'll put that through there, a bit of red in the middle or something, and then we'll work around this. Nice and wet. Bit of white, bit of red, bit of orange. Probably Cadmium Red. Be careful how I use that. See how quick it's drying. And we've got some white with it, yellow. Just tint the paper. The Art in Action, it's the last one. They've been doing it for 40 years. And the house is a wonderful country house. It looks like a Georgian or even older Palladian style house in the grounds of this wonderful garden area and orchards. But the house itself was owned by, I believe, by Rowan Atkinson. So that's something to talk about. But they reckon this is the last one they're doing because they say it's not making any money, but because people realised it was the last one, or hope it's not. Turned up, 30,000 people turned up on the first day, and yesterday the coaches, huge car park filled with cars, thousands of people, a lot of material, wonderful pottery, woodworking. Oh, it was gorgeous, and so much to see. Glass blowing exhibitions, demonstrations. I'll be doing. This is going to be abstract. So let's just see if we can get this lovely and bright in the middle, probably yellow in the middle of this, and a bit of white. Okay, maybe we could take that sun a little bit higher. Let's go in the middle there. We'll blur it. Get some of this cad orange in there. The thing that really interested me greatly, apart from paintings, but were half a dozen foot treadle woodworking spindle turning lathes. Absolutely wonderful to see. No electric, just incredible wood bungees. I don't know what they used in the old days, but to get a reciprocating action, there's like a split, or split wood pieces of wooden poles, either each end with the cord stretched between it, and oh, it was just, I can't explain it better than that at the moment and do this, but lovely to see. Children were having a go at this, making some lovely spindles for chair type things, or anything, banister rails or banister spindles. And oh, you could take one of those into the middle of the forest, cut some wood, and no electricity, not needed, and you can carve away. Just fabulous. Right, I'm just going to go over that now with, I'm going to use some ceruleum. I just want to put in some ready city, sort of just hint. Ooh, I don't think ceruleum works too well with orange. Let's try it with red. Using a 1/2 inch brush. But there were some wonderful ceramics, if you like ceramics, absolutely glorious, hundreds of pounds. But beautiful. So let's keep things away from the centre. A bit more red, and with that blue we can put a bit of darker stuff. There were some lovely sunset pictures on the show, that's why I'm sort of doing it. But I'm just making it up as I go along. I haven't got anything in mind really, well, written down or sketched down or photographed. You have to ask permission to photograph anyway. Oh, we can put red and probably, because you're looking into the light, this would all be much less distinct and brighter, so the real darks will be on the extremes of this. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, it's coming up to my dinner time. I'm getting hungry. I'll go over all this as it dries so that a lot of this disappears. It's a bit of lost and found. So it would be sad. I bumped into I was talking to a lady who had been talking to a demonstrator. The thing is, they don't charge demonstrators or exhibitors or demonstrators a fee, but they do charge a commission on sales, which is fair enough. They don't, obviously not charging enough, but they sold so much pottery, glassware, paintings that and all sorts of things, orders for this, that and the other, that they might start to carry on with it. I mean, everything you buy for food and drink is very expensive, ice creams, but you expect that. And we went by coach with about 40 colleagues from Carl Shorten, Wellington Art Group, which is my old art group, and Banstead Art Group, and my mate Fred, who organised it, asked, is anybody missing on the coast when we're ready to go? No dissenters. They said, oh yes, we're all here. But Fred didn't count, and 2 people got left behind. So I had to make their own way home. They got to live back to London anyway, which was lucky. And then one of the husbands came and picked them up. It shouldn't have happened, but poor old Fred, aging. Alright, just put in some warm, ready. I'm having fun with these abstracts. I can't apologise for them. It's all painting, but it's having fun with the paint, enjoying trying to paint what you feel about something. This is where we want to get the lights in. Slightly orangey, bit of white mixed in with that. More yellow. Just dragging down some reflection, but I'm going to go over all this water. This it's all River Thames type of landscape, but it's not, of course. It's just made up. Let's put in some high stuff here. But it was very hot walking around yesterday. I hope they carry on with it. I'd love to go again. I've only been twice, but last year and this year. I've just got an impression of a city skyline. It doesn't have to be any representational stuff. Just make it up as you go along. Right, just drag in here, bit of shadow in. We can tart it up afterwards when it's sort of done, or as far as we're going to get it done. Okay, that will do for a moment. We'll go back in the sky now and see if we can go back in with those sky colours, those darker red, reddy orange. More cad red. Spray. Thousands of brushes were on sale. Some lovely sables, but I was in the material tent about 2 o'clock, and if I'd gone there a bit earlier, later, it would have probably been even cheaper. Right, let's get some darker paint in the foreground now, that dark red. Right, we want to get some light back in there again. I'm not central, so I'm going to just do something there. So sort of glazing. We'll wait for that to dry and we go back over it. I'm going to put some more yellow out. This is cadmium yellow. See, it all goes plastic. Look. Put your pots head down so the air doesn't get back in and jam the little hole. Let's just stretch the paper out a bit. Got to do a bit better with this horizon. Oops, that can happen. I'll use the small brush here now. I think ceruleum is a bit of a killer. Use the way I've used it. Let's just go back to the ultramarine, the usual. That's dry. I was talking to the rep for Masterson or Chroma Colour. The marketers of these wonderful Stay Wet palettes. He wasn't happy when I said that I used kitchen paper as a sponge, but I used the membranes, of course. And I've had this for at least 20 years, 25 years, but it's still going strong. Look, it hasn't split, broken, perished. Marvellous thing. Absolutely wouldn't be without it. And they're not very expensive. This one Probably is cheaper now than it was when I bought it. But then it was probably a new kid on the block then. But this Masterson, the large one, the large Chroma Colour Stay Wet palette, get them online, highly recommended. But the sponges, there's the normal sponge, it's that sort of thing. It expands a bit, not that much. This is in the smaller palette that I've got. But it does tend to rot if you don't use it. You can mitigate that by, like it's Bristol, by putting a few drops of ammonia in the water when you wet it. But it's a really great thing to have. You can use it for oil painting as well. So membrane keep. It stops the paint going through, but lets the moisture come up the other way, which is wonderful. There are others, so Dana Rowney do one, but well, I bought one, it was a bit flimsy, but they might have improved it. One Terry Harrison used for many years, but I wouldn't change this for any other. Use a bit of mauve mixed with the Cadmium Red and the Ultramarine now. I don't really like that cerulean. It's not really my colour. Nothing wrong with cerulean, it's just me. Alright, let's get this shadow in. I looked again at the Carshalton lavender field, which I abstracted last week, from the top from high up in the coach, coming back past it yesterday. It looks nothing like I painted, but then I had no intention of painting it as a realistic, lifelike painting. Trying to get away from that. I think when you start painting, you tend to put everything in because it's there in the photograph. But the art really is leaving it all out and just suggesting it. Whether you suggest it by abstract or impressionism is entirely up to you. You develop your own style. I only do my thing with it as best I can, and I change my style. But the more you paint, the more you develop your own language. That's a good colour, I reckon that. Lots of colour, or primary colours. No black, no browns, just lovely primaries. Now let's just put in some highlights. Just bring it down into the water. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? I don't want to put words in your mouth. I like the spiry effect. Right, now I get some bright oranges. Breaking up the outline a bit with this other lovely orange. Carry the sunset colours throughout the picture. Oh wait, it's my WhatsApp. What a great thing that is. I'm not going to do much more to this, it's a Monday morning painting. Bags are nothing. Right, I want to put some ripples in. Not quite sure how to do those. I'll do them with this brush. Just the nice yellowy, orangey colour. Just catching the edge of the brush with some paint. Hold my windows open so you can hear work going on in gardens, houses. I'm going to put this in a mount in a minute and just have a look. That's the ripples just right, I want to now put in some brilliant yellowy colour, light colours. But it's still wet in the middle because there's so much paint on it. Sorry if I'm masking you, but I want to get this more or less. Just going either side of that sort of light area. That's just, see if we can get some really brilliant orange in that centre. No, that's not really realistic, is it? just dragging over to get some light back in. Obscuring the background really. Just catching the high spots. Making it a little more sort of impressionist. Right, okay, let's put a signature on it. Not that anybody's ever going to want to buy it, but always sign your work, because you never know. Ooh, that's too... It's hard to sign upright, a bit flat. Right, okay, I won't put any birds in. Put a tape just to hold it. Turn those off. Put the light mount on there. Right. Just anchor that at the bottom. Okay, so simple slapping on, or mostly primary colours with orange thrown in, just a sort of a sunset. My sun's not right, but I'm not working from any reference material. I'm sort of guessing it. But I hope you will do something like this and get the confidence of having a go at something different. When I say different, I mean something that you're not copying from a photograph exactly. Just use things as for a guide. I think that's going uphill a bit, but no problem. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.